Coming up on The Shield, the women's soccer team heads to the NCAA tournament. We have all the details.
And what a time for prospective students to tour our campus. We'll take a look at how last Saturday's visit day went.
Over a foot of snow has fallen in some parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota area as we put this into motion. You can see where the snow is falling, and will it be heading into the Valparaiso area? I'll have the answer to coming up just a little bit later. This edition of The Shield starts right now.
Thank you for joining us here on The Shield. The Valpo community is full of energy. I'm Brendan Johnson.
I'm Maria Bruno, and the excitement keeps building as the women's soccer team advances to the NCAA tournament.
It was in the 83rd minute that tournament MVP April Cronin scored the lone goal that gave Valpo a 1-0 lead against Detroit. We now turn to Shield correspondent Teddy Riethmeyer with the latest on the NCAA Division I Women's Soccer Selection Show from the Hari Union.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the ballrooms where the NCAA selection show for women's soccer just concluded, and Valparaiso berthed with the number 13 seed, going to be facing number 4 seed Notre Dame this Friday at 7 p.m. at Notre Dame. And it was a day full of anticipation for the Women's Crusaders soccer team as they waited anxiously to find out where exactly they would be seated in the NCAA tournament after beating Detroit in the finals of the Horizon League tournament this past Saturday.
Well, all activity here at Valpo wasn't just focused on Brownfield. This past Saturday, the admissions department hosted its regular Valpo Visit Day.
That's right, Maria. Valpo welcomed about 500 prospective students to campus, and we at VUTV wanted to see what a Visit Day is all about.
Last Saturday, over 500 prospective students came to Valpo for a Visit Day. VUTV was able to speak with tour guide Alex Siebert about what the Visit Day is all about.
Today's all about kind of showing prospective students kind of what we have to offer here at Valpo and really kind of show them what we're all about and how much fun it is to be a student here.
Alex also told us what high school students can expect to experience on a Visit Day.
They're going to go to 2 info sessions, so from anything that they're interested in, they're going to go to 2 different sessions and kind of get a little bit more information about that field. And then from there, they're going to be given a tour, so they're going to get to go around campus and see what it's all about. And then from that, we're going to have a couple panels so they can go and ask questions about campus and student life and things like that.
And we even asked Alex what his most favorite place to show on campus is.
My favorite part of campus, that would have to be the chapel, mostly because it's just so awesome. And how it's just so big and the organ's just amazing. So I really like to show that because a lot of students just get awestruck by the chapel.
As a part of VUTV, we not only try to bring you the latest in Valpo news and sports, but we also strive to bring you the most up-to-date weather coverage from our meteorology department. Shield News correspondent Amy Vanderhayden sat down with some of the professors and students to get an inside look into this changing field.
Created in 1991 out of the already existing Geography Department, the Valparaiso University Department of Meteorology was founded to give undergraduate students a better curriculum in meteorology. Professor Kevin Gobert is one of 4 faculty members in the department, and he spoke to me on the way students are taught in the program.
And one of the great aspects of this program is that they teach specifically, and so they do some research on the side, but that their goal is on preparing undergraduate meteorology majors for all aspects of meteorology careers.
The meteorology program is twofold here at Valpo, offering classes for both broadcast meteorology and operational research meteorology.
The thing about meteorology at Valparaiso University is it doesn't matter what area of meteorology you want to go into. Everyone takes the same amount of courses and the same classes. And so it doesn't matter that some of my friends will be going into research and I'm going into broadcasting. All of us have the exact same meteorology degree. So I still have that scientific knowledge that backs me up over someone with just a communication degree who's kind of learning weather on the fly.
Aside from the in-class work, VU's meteorology department boasts 4 extracurricular clubs for students to further their education. These clubs include Chi Epsilon Pi, the Meteorological Honor Society, the Valparaiso University Storm Intercept Team, focusing on the in-field research during severe weather, the Northwest Indiana chapter of the National Weather Association American Meteorological Society, and work here with the VUTV Weather Department.
VUs at our storm intercept team, we have a lot of what we call code yellows, deciding whether we're going to go chasing or not. And basically we have a weather discussion to determine if the setup will be chaseable. And I've learned a lot about being able to forecast and nowcast for severe storms by going to those discussions as well.
Your coursework is only one thing. It's all that hands-on experience that really helps you in the long run. And so whether it's storm chasing, whether it's getting involved in VUTV and doing weather updates to kind of get yourself used to a real-world experience, it's everything outside the classroom that really helps define what you will do with your degree post-graduation.
For the Shield on VUTV, I'm Amy Vanderhayden.
And still to come on The Shield, Germany marks 25 years after the fall of the Berlin Wall.
And 2 Americans returned to the U.S. after being detained in North Korea.
Around the region yesterday, highs were in the lower 60s. We're experiencing a drastic change as we head into the overnight hours. I'll have the details coming up in my full weather forecast.
For over 100 years, VU has trusted the torch for reliable and accurate accounts of campus happenings. And with an end of a century, we would like to say thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Valpo.
We have been covering stories that will impact you both in print and online. For Player Spotlight and next week events, to the opinions you have, count on us as Valpo's most reliable source for campus happenings. 4-time winner of College Weekly of the Year, The Torch, home of the truth, celebrating 100 years of excellence in journalism.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If Daniel won't change your mind, baby, right.
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
Welcome back to The Shield. Germans gathered around the Brandenburg Gate on Sunday to mark the fall of the Berlin Wall 25 years ago. It's been that long since East and West Berlin were 2 different worlds. CNN's Mary Maloney takes a look at a celebration that featured moments of joy and sadness.
Berliners released 8,000 lighted white balloons into the sky Sunday, marking the path of the Berlin Wall with a sign of peace. A quarter of a century has passed since the fall of the Berlin Wall, nearly 27 miles of concrete and barbed wire that separated East and West Berlin from 1961 to 1989. Cutting off friends and relatives in the same city, it became an iconic symbol of the Cold War. German Chancellor Angela Merkel commemorated the occasion with words of hope.
The fall of wall showed us that dreams can come true. Nothing has to stay how it is.
On November 9th, 1989, Germans tore the wall down, some with their hands, others using hammers and pickaxes. Berlin's mayor praised the citizens of East Berlin for igniting the spark that signaled the end of the Cold War.
The fall of the wall was a result of the movement by the people of East Berlin. It was not the work by politicians, it was the work by the citizens of the city.
A 1.6-mile-long portion of the wall, known as the East Side Gallery, is still standing and accessible to viewers. After commemorating the wall with the border of light, beginning at the historic Brandenburg Gate, celebrants heard the Ode to Joy from the 4th movement of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. The work has become the theme of East-West unification. I'm Mary Maloney, reporting.
After 2 years of detention in the world's most elusive nation, 2 Americans are back on U.S. soil from North Korea. Anna Cabrera has the latest from Washington State.
After months and years of detention, 2 Americans held prisoner in North Korea are back in the United States. First off the plane, Kenneth Bay, who had been held for 2 years and was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor for hostile acts against the government, claiming he was part of a Christian plot to overthrow the regime.
I just want to say thank you all for supporting me and standing by me during this time. And it's been just amazing blessing to see so many people being involved, getting me released for the last 2 years. And not only mentioning for thousands of people who've been praying for me as well.
It's just hard to believe this day is finally here. For 2 years, it's been just unbelievable agony and unspeakable. And there are many who have just allowed this day to happen. We are thankful for President Obama and Secretary Kerry for not forgetting Kenneth.
And Matthew Todd Miller stepped off. Miller had been detained since April and was sentenced to 6 years of hard labor. He had been accused of tearing up his tourist visa and seeking asylum upon entry to North Korea. Miller did not speak to the media after his arrival. Their release comes after North Korea unexpectedly reached out to the White House to send a cabinet-level official to discuss the detentions. But apparently there wasn't a guarantee that the Americans would be brought home. They were set free after Director of National Intelligence James Clapper went to the capital of Pyongyang in a secret mission, delivering a letter from President Obama to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The letter was said to be short and to the point, and Clapper did not meet with Kim.
I think it's a wonderful day for them and their families. Obviously, we're very grateful for their safe return, and I appreciate Director Clapper doing a great job on what was obviously a challenging mission.
Their release comes less than a month after North Korea let go Jeffrey Fowle, an Ohio man who spent 5 months in detention. And now, with the men who just returned, there are no Americans being held in North Korea.
It's been amazing 2 years. I learned a lot, I grew a lot, lost a lot of weight in a good way, but I'm standing strong because of you.
Ana Cabrera, CNN, Tacoma, Washington.
The situation in Iraq has grown more intense as the United States has decided to move more troops to the Middle East to fight the ISIS terror group. The White House made this announcement last Friday. Sunlin Sifati is in Washington with how many troops are heading to the war-torn region.
The White House today announced that they're sending an additional 1,500 U.S. soldiers to Iraq. The U.S. already had about 1,700 boots on the ground, so this new number nearly doubles that. Now keep in mind, it's important to note that like the other troops, these new troops, they wouldn't be in a combat capacity. They would only be there to train the Kurdish and Iraqi security forces. The Pentagon says these new troops will operate from bases outside of Baghdad and Erbil.
Secretary Hagel made this recommendation to the president based on the request of the government of Iraq, U.S. Central Command's assessment of Iraqi units, the progress Iraqi security forces have made in the field, and in concert with the development of a coalition campaign plan to defend key areas and go on the offensive against ISIL.
In September of this year, the president announced a broad campaign against ISIS after 2 American journalists were held captive by ISIS and then beheaded. Announcing the escalation of the U.S. military role then, the president said the objective is to degrade and ultimately destroy ISIS. At the White House today, the president sat down with congressional leaders. White House officials tell us the battle against ISIS was one of the top topics that was discussed. And all of this will come at a big price tag. The White House tells us the president will request $5.6 billion from Congress. 1.6 of that will be to establish a fund to help the Kurdish and Iraqi forces as they take on ISIS. In Washington, I'm Sunlin Sirfati.
The city of Dallas, Texas is now Ebola-free, and it has been something to celebrate. Former President George W. Bush visited Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, the hospital that treated the first patient diagnosed with the Ebola virus. It is also the same hospital where 2 nurses contracted the virus. Bush met and hugged Amber Vinson, one of those nurses. He even gave her a kiss on the forehead. The two shared a laugh as the former president thanked her and the other hospital personnel for their continued dedication.
It's been a tough period for this hospital and the people who work here. Tough period for Dallas. But, you know, fortunately, this is a team of people that really care, compassionate folks. And the idea of sharing lessons with others is, I think, great. And I had the privilege of hugging Amber. We got a little notoriety recently. Sweet woman. And thank you all for caring for her as well.
And this isn't the first time the former president has visited Texas Health Presbyterian. He had a heart procedure there last year and even remarked to hospital employees that it feels just like home.
There's good news to report out in California as 15 hikers who went missing in Eaton Canyon Sunday have been located. The hiking group was from a church with group members ranging in ages from 14 to 36. Authorities say the group was well equipped and that they were planning to rappel down one of the waterfalls. Family members became concerned and called officials when they didn't report back by sunset. It is not clear whether or not anyone was injured.
And after 2 years of disappointing sales, Pizza Hut is making a change. The brand's overhaul will change just about everything from a new logo, pizza boxes and uniforms, to even the recipe of the pizzas. Among some of the new offerings Pizza Hut plans to unveil is a greater selection of crusts, up from 1 to 10, 6 new sauce selections, and 6 special recipes, including a 7-alarm fire, which comes loaded with peppers and jalapeno. Well, just ahead, Storm Shield meteorologist Lauren Hilka will join us with your full Valpo weather forecast. Stay with us.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
And now your dependable and accurate weather forecast with meteorologist Lauren Hilko.
Welcome back to the Shield and happy Veterans Day. Hope you have all had a fantastic day. I've been seeing some chillier temperatures, and the below normal temperatures are going to be in the forecast through the rest of the week. And how long will these below normal temperatures be lasting? I'll have the answer coming up a little bit later. Looking at temperatures, we're seeing 47 right now and getting right around 41. We saw right around the noon hour, and we're only reached high right around 41 degrees for today. Now, temperatures as we head into the overnight hours will be continue to plummet. We're going to be seeing right around 34 degrees as we head to 9 p.m. And as you head outside for your morning classes tomorrow, we are going to be seeing only a temperature of 26 degrees. So make sure that you dress warm. Temperatures are not going to be rising very much, only seeing right around 32 degrees at noon for the day tomorrow, and only reaching highs in the mid-30s. Now, these below normal temperatures will be sticking around. Our forecasted high for today was 42 and a low right around 25. Now, the average for this time of year is a high of 52 and a low right around 35, and that's a 10-degree difference. And so we're going to be 10 degrees below normal for much of the rest of the week. In the forecast for tonight, we're going to be seeing a low right around 24. We're going to be seeing mostly clear conditions. The wind is going to start subsiding, and the rain-snow mix that we've been experiencing earlier will start to subside. Going to be very cool tomorrow as you head outside. Partly cloudy conditions with a high of only 33 degrees. So make sure as you head outdoors that you do bundle up. And these below normal temperatures will be sticking around throughout the rest of the 5-day. We're going to be experiencing some partly sunny conditions as we head into Tuesday with a high of only 33 degrees. Now the mid-30s will be sticking around in the forecast as we head into the day on Friday, as well as throughout the beginning part of the weekend and into the end of the weekend. We're only going to be seeing temperatures on Saturday right around 35 with partly sunny conditions, and on Sunday mostly cloudy conditions with a high of 34 degrees. So these below normal temperatures for this time of year, seeing 10 degrees below normal, and only seeing temperatures in the mid-30s. So make sure when you're heading outside, you definitely bundle up because it will be chilly next week or so.
Yeah, I'll tell you, not a fan of this forecast. I was out there last Saturday for
Yeah.
that Valpo Visit Day, giving tours of alumni. Tell you, chief complaint from parents, really cold outside.
Definitely.
Definitely a different type of climate here in Valpo.
Yes, at least there's like no snow or rain in the forecast. We're going to be seeing, some sunny conditions, but that is going to be, when you step outside, you're thinking, oh, it's warm, but really you're definitely going to need a jacket, gloves, maybe even scarf and hat as you head throughout the next week or so.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Up next in Valpo Sports, we have a lot to cover with Parker Gatewood. We'll have the full recap next.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Joining us now with sports is Parker Gatewood. Parker, what a weekend for Valpo Athletics.
Oh my gosh, Brendan, it certainly was. Isn't it funny how sports works? I mean, when you think about it, on the weekend, the football team normally would have been the #1 story, beating Butler, no questions asked. However, they were a bit overshadowed this weekend, and that's because the Valparaiso women's soccer team is headed to the NCAA tournament. The Crusaders matched up against Detroit in an extremely anticipated Horizon League Championship match, and it certainly lived up to the hype. It was a physical match that only saw 2 yellow cards, but had 29 fouls throughout the match's entirety. Both teams battled back and forth, fighting for field position, and for a while it seemed as though we would be set up for extra time. But April Cronin was having none of that, as she scored the game-winning goal in the 83rd minute to send Valpo to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2005. The Crusaders just found out on Monday that they will be heading to Notre Dame to take on the Fighting Irish. That's going to be Friday for their NCAA tournament match. Well, to add to the fantastic sports weekend in Valpo, the Hoosier helmet has made its return to the city of Valparaiso. After a 72-12 loss to Butler last year, Valpo's football team had nowhere to go but up on Saturday. With the Crusaders' elevated play this year, coupled with the fact that Butler had a good amount of vulnerabilities, the Crusaders were looking good going into the contest. Valpo jumped right on the Bulldogs and went into halftime with a 14-3 lead. The Crusaders' defense would continue to be the story, as they did not allow a single point in the second half and won the game by the final score of 17-3. The Crusaders are taking it to the West Coast next weekend and will match up against San Diego this coming Saturday. Rounding out the weekend was volleyball, who had 2 big-time Horizon League matchups. Valpo defeated Wright State in straight sets on Friday by the scores of 25-21, 25-11, and 25-19. But unfortunately, they were bested by Oakland the following Saturday by the final scores of 23-25, 25-15, 32-34, and 25-16. The Crusaders will be on the road next weekend to take on UIC this coming Saturday. It was certainly another fun weekend in sports here at Valparaiso, and to stay connected with the action ahead, log on to valpoathletics.com. It's been a good weekend, guys.
Yeah, truly exciting. Thanks, Parker. And up next, Lauren is back for a last look at your Valpo weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Lauren Hilko joins us for a final look at your storm shield forecast. Lauren, what can you tell us?
Definitely chilly, below normal temperatures. As I was saying before, we're going to be seeing temperatures that are 10 degrees below normal. We're only going to be seeing temperatures consistently throughout the week in the mid-30s. On Friday, we're going to be seeing 34 for the high with partly to mostly clear conditions, and that will continue into the weekend, only warming up to 35 on Saturday. Looking at overnight lows for Sunday, we're going to be seeing overnight temperatures of 17 as we head into the overnight hours. So the next few days is actually going to be very cool. So make sure if you're heading outside, you definitely bundle up because you're definitely going to need hats, gloves, and hopefully everybody has their winter coats because you'll definitely need it.
Yeah, would you say it's just a little bit early this season for cold weather? We're bringing out those winter jackets just a little early.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be, especially since our average for this time of year is usually like in the lower 50s, and we're only going to be seeing temperatures in the mid-30s. So definitely seems like a little bit early for this time of year.
Yeah. Gotta keep our hats and gloves on.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Lauren, and that's all we have for you. I'm Maria Bruno.
And I'm Brendan Johnson for Lauren, Parker, and all of us here at VUTV. Have a great rest of the week.